Well, hello there, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a new pick a card reading. Today's pick a card reading is going to be about messages from your future self, urgent messages from your future self for some. Yeah, I've set the intention in this reading to be entering in communication with this future version of ourselves, the one which is already on the other side of what we today perceive to be perhaps a challenge, perhaps a situation that we don't understand. Definitely a lot of transformational energies going on currently in the collective. And so, yeah, if you're here, I hope you're comfortable for that. Another intention I've set for this reading is one of resonance. I really set the intention here that this reading is gonna hit home. So yeah, grab your tissues. Don't know if we're gonna need them, but yeah, definitely connecting with this perspective of us that has already gone through what we may be experiencing currently. So that's really something I'm looking forward to. If that's what you're interested in, make yourself at home. Grab a comfortable place for yourself to enjoy the video. Yep. That being said, if you enjoyed this content, please like it and subscribe. That would support me a lot. And let me know that you enjoyed these readings. And yeah, well, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. There we go. Today we got 3 groups to be choosing from, as you may be able to tell. And as always, I'm going to be asking you to tune into your intuition in order to feel whichever group, whichever pile you feel the most drawn to, knowing that the pile that you feel the most drawn to is going to be holding the messages you're meant to be hearing right now at this moment. Keep in mind that if you're feeling drawn to more than one pile, it may simply mean that there are messages for you to be hearing more than one pile. Perhaps your future self has lots to talk about with you. That being said, you can be choosing your pile based off the card or the crystal, which I'm going to be presenting right now. Pile number 1 is going to be Creator Earth card with the Obsidian right here. Pile number 2 is going to be Fill Your Cup with Sacred Giggles with the Smokey Quartz. Whereas pile number 3 is going to be Ambush Fear with your Ferocious Dreams with the Fluorite right here. So yeah, take your time, pause the video if you need to in order to make your choice, whichever pile you feel the most drawn to yet again. And once you've made your choice, you can fast forward directly to the timestamps provided down below, either in the pinned comment, the description box, where you'll be able to fast forward directly to the timestamp of the reading, and I'm going to be seeing you there. Hey, pile number 1, you're up. How are you doing? I hope you're comfortable. I hope you're curious about the messages that are going to come through in this reading. I hope you're having a nice day, an evening, or night. If you chose the Creator Earth card or the Obsidian, that's going to be your reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, today the cards I've pre-shuffled. Felt like it, and we're gonna get straight into it then. So, the theme being, as we already discussed, what are the messages that we need to be hearing right now from our future self, this perspective, this point of perspective of ours, which has already gone through what we are going through. So I invite you to focus your questions that you may or may not be having on the first cards that we're going to be having. These ones are going to be revealing us like the overall theme of what we need to be hearing right now. So let's get right into it. For the first card, we have Your Dreams Need a Practical Plan, the full moon in Taurus. Then we have The End of a Tough Cycle Approaches, full moon in Capricorn. Well, lots of earth energy, definitely. Just based off that, you know, it's like we had Creator Earth, and these 2 astrological signs are earth signs, so lots of earth energy. And then we have Bride in a Cage, Peaceful Among Thorns. Okay. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Based off the cards, what I can tell is that you may currently be experiencing a bit of a pickle when it comes to your physical situation. We're going to be discussing at least for the first part of the reading, from what I can tell, a lot of physical energies, a lot of material energies here. We could be talking about a situation which you are currently going through, most likely, from what I can tell. A very physical situation, and I'm hearing very likely to deal with your career, your home life. It's very much about something you're currently experiencing, I'm hearing. So, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have other things later, but right now it's very physical oriented, what we're getting. But Peaceful Among Thorns and Bride in a Cage is definitely indicating that you are currently in a situation that you find yourself to be very comfortable with, yet which also feels very uncomfortable. What I feel is, I mean, this card says it all to me. It's, yes, it's something you are comfortable in the sense that you're very used to it. Yet again, it may be career related, family related, it could be a relationship, but it's something very earthly. I'm feeling something that we are very comfortable with because perhaps it's a situation which has been going on for a while. However, the thorns, and especially Bride in a Cage after, makes me feel that it's not a preferred situation. It's like it's very comfortable. We know it. We've grown comfortable to it. Something which has been going on for a while. Something that we very well know. Something we're very familiar with. But it's not necessarily something that we enjoy. And that's what I'm feeling. And Bride in a Cage right next to it is definitely making me feel that it's a situation that we've grown certainly used to, but we're feeling very stuck in it now. It's like, you know, like a kid who grows up and just outgrows their shirt. But somehow they liked this shirt so much that they just didn't want to get rid of it, so they just stuck with it, although it almost feels from the outside ridiculous when it's obvious that this shirt is way too small for the kid. But that's quite the vibe I'm getting, especially with the practical thing. There's a lot of... Let me take a bit of water. I'm feeling some coping mechanisms coming through the mind, very, yeah, earthly energies yet again. There may be a lot of denial and a lot of unwillingness to connect with your emotions. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little sorry for, I feel like it's a little heavy on your mind. It doesn't feel to be a very comfortable situation you find yourself in. So yeah, if that's what's going on, I'm sorry, first of all. But yeah, it really feels like a situation that was once something that we wanted, but something we outgrew. And now it's just hindering. Our growth is just hindering our ability to feel happy. But there's just something else, just feeling stuck in it. Perhaps not feeling feeling like there is no other option. I feel like the fact I'm getting so heavily the mind coming through in resistance, I'm just getting this bowl of resistance in your mind, this unwillingness to relate yourself to the situation on an emotional level because it's not a pleasant one. As in, sure, we feel stuck, but we do not perceive any solution, and that's why we feel like we're a bride in a cage, as in everything's pretty, everything is okay, it's comfortable, we're used to it, but we hate it as well. But at the same time, it's like it feels like we don't have the tools to get out of it, that we do not have the ability to get out of it, and that's driving us nuts here. That's what I'm getting, Pawan, here. But as far as the situation goes, and it definitely feels that this is the main thing here. But there's something with the mind and the denial of emotions. Because I feel that the power is not found within what's happening. There's definitely coming through, like, from your future self, as in the situation as it appears. I'm hearing the quote, you know, like, the mind which created the problem is not going to be the mind which solves it. You know this Einstein quote? I'm not sure it goes exactly this way, but the idea behind this quote is, if you really want to solve a problem, you'll have to help yourself perceive the situation in a new way, in a new lens, because the perspective that one may find themselves in while perceiving the problem is not going to be the perspective in which you're going to find a solution, because they're just not vibrating at the same frequency. You cannot solve a problem when you're still thinking in terms of problem. And here in this case, that's what's being indicated to me is like, you find yourself in a situation which physically looks completely stuck, and feels like there is no way for you to change things with your mind externally so as to make it go in your favor. As in, either you perceive that you do not have the ability to do anything about it, which may actually be the case, or you just have no freaking clue about how to go about it. And what I'm getting is, there is no power in the outside right now. You're feeling powerless to a situation outside of you, because the situation outside of you cannot change that much. And what I'm feeling is the power is within you. The power is within, but the power here comes from shifting your perspective around the situation, and that's not going to happen for as long as you are unwilling to explore your emotions. And yet again, I'm like, it feels, from the perspective of your future self, it feels very completely understandable why you would find yourself in such a pickle, and why it would feel a little difficult and delicate for you to allow yourself to feel in the situation, because perhaps this external situation is not really making you feel very comfortable and easy and safe enough for you to open up, at least to yourself. That's what I'm getting. And yeah, it's like, this situation is here to end. It's not meant to stay. However, it feels like it's endlessly getting, it's like it's being elongated. It's like the situation happened and it just is lasting more and more and more. And the more time goes on, and the more the situation just keeps on lasting, and it feels like there is no end. It feels like it's never gonna end, which is not the truth, but the call is definitely here not to wait. But I'm hearing like the reason to why the situation is getting elongated is for you to learn the lesson. It's not about how much endurance do you have to show so as to outlast the situation, but rather how long will it take you to understand that there is no power in trying to change things externally. Relative to this, I just want to make it clear that everything which is being said right now was within the context of the pieces of advice I'm receiving may not apply everywhere in your life, but I just want to make it clear that we're talking within the context of that, because here it definitely feels like it's a big lesson for you to understand that the power is not always within your hands, it's not always in your doing, but sometimes in your surrendering, which is not always the case, you know. It's like in this situation, it's definitely here for you to learn to surrender, but yet again, don't take it out of context. Sometimes we need to be proactive about our future, but here the first step doesn't seem to be about that. It really, like, what I'm hearing is like the situation is being elongated for as long as you need it to, so as to sink into your emotion. It's like, how long will it last until you just finally break down and allow yourself to feel? Because I'm feeling that this situation is not gonna end in and of itself. And even if it were to end, even if you were to outlast it and rejoice in the pride of your resilience, which, you know, is something to be proud of, I mean, you know yourself, you're gonna recreate it. The situation there is a teaching here, there is a lesson here, and if you don't learn it here, you're gonna be faced with it later. So it's definitely the invitation of like, okay, please take your time, tune in, and understand that this situation outside of you is not moving because you are not moving within. Think of a mirror. If you want the mirror to stop looking at you in such a weird way, stop making such a weird face at the mirror. It's very much that. It's because of seems to be a lot of stress, a lot of fear involved in the situation, and yet again I'm hearing that's completely normal to be reacting to the situation this way, considering your history. There is absolutely no shame to be had here. It's completely understandable. However, wait, what was I saying? It's like, yeah, there's a lot of stress, there is a lot of fear, and so there is this temptation, this obsession of wanting to change things outside of us, but it just doesn't work because the answer is not outside of us here. So it's like your dreams need a practical plan. The end of a tough cycle approaches. It's a form, and it's like you're on the end of it. You got everything that you need in order to make the change. The situation is not being kept in place because the universe wants to force you into the situation. It's more like the power is within your hands, but the situation will last for as long as you need for you to realize it. How long will it take you to realize that the power has always been within your hands? And then I'm just feeling so much compassion on behalf of your future self, because it genuinely feels like it's a bit of a trigger point for you. But yeah, it's like, yet again, there's a lot of earth energy. There is so much potential that I feel in that, and so much power to be held, but it's like the key for you to realize how much power you have, and in order to be able to make your practical plans so as to get out of the situation, if that's what you're considering, to create your dreams, to put an end to this endless cycle, is really for you to find within yourself. But it's like, it's not something you're gonna figure out. It's not something that's gonna come from the outside. It's something which is just waiting for you on the inside, but it will not reveal itself for as long as you're not going within. It's a purely emotional thing here at this point. Definitely feels like you carrying luggage. Yeah, I'm hearing it's a very classic situation, quote unquote classic, but it's like us carrying with ourselves like emotional luggages from the past, and we just keep on living. We just live with assumptions and beliefs based of experiences from the past, and at some point in our life we just run into a wall, which forces us to make an inventory of everything we're carrying with us. And that's definitely what's going on here. It's like the reason to why you do not see what the hell is going on, the reason to why you do not see the solution, the reason to why you do not see the solution, as obvious as it may appear to your future self, is because you are stuck in the mind which created the problem, although you may not be aware of having created the problem. And yet again, that's not the point of the message here. It's happening. That's all that matters to know right now. But then the message is, if you want to get out of this, if you want to carry on with your dreams, you're going to have to change the way you relate to the world, and that is only going to be made through allowing yourself to listen to the emotions that have been meaning to express themselves for so long. I hope it makes sense, because it feels like it may be a little bit of a confusing message for some, but I'm really feeling that, it's like, please stop giving so much of your power away to what's going on outside of you and start going within. There is a lot of earthly energy within you, but right now it's being used in a very unhealthy manner because the mind is stuck in fear. Because the mind is stuck in fear, we're using all of our power trying to change the physical outside of us. That's not how it goes. That's why you feel like you've been stuck for so long. So that's one thing. I wanted to dive a little deeper with some more cards. So we're gonna see any pieces of advice. Got the cow spirit, the bobcat, and the lion. Yeah, I mean, first thing is an invitation to sink into your heart. Some of you may be a little resistant to going to your emotions because going into emotions feels very destabilizing in the sense that when you're afraid to lose yourself in emotions, which is understandable. Understand that your heart center is not emotional in nature. You feel emotions through the heart center, but not only. When you feel like you're losing yourself in emotions, you're not in your heart. You're generally more in your belly or your intestines. If you want to have a bit of a idea. Whereas when we are in our minds, well, you know where you are, still not in your heart center. There's definitely an invitation to come back to heart, which is halfway between the brain and the belly. If you just want to imagine and picture like a human body, but energetically, that's really what's happening. Is like you're stuck in mind because of coping with being outside of the belly, and it just feels so foggy. It's like swinging a pendulum from one extreme to another. It's like we just generally don't understand what the heck is going on. And it's definitely the invitation of please come back to heart right now. Because this is where the clarity is gonna come through. The bobcat, like bobcat and lion, both felines, they see in the dark much better than we do. They see things that we don't. And I generally feel that the situation you're in is not really difficult to figure out. The only reason to why it feels so, it's because you are not clearly in your heart. You are stuck in a perspective which is not able to perceive as much. You are stuck in fear, and as such you're not able to perceive you're not vibrating at the level of the solution. That's why you're not perceiving it. But there's definitely the invitation to come back to heart. Miracles are endless. When was the last time you felt that the world was that life and the world was acting your best interest? If I tell you that you're the universe's favorite, does it feel like a truth? Right now it doesn't seem like it, right? So it's very much like there's this feeling, I feel a lot of emotions coming through, I'm not gonna lie, but yet again they're all related to old stuff, things that need to be clearly seen, experienced, like integrated and digested. It feels like an open wound that we're refusing to look at. Understandably, it hurts. Guess what? But because of the fact we are refusing to look at the fact that we have this wound, unattended wound, we're not understanding why we're not capable of running a marathon. We're about to run a marathon, and oh my god, my leg hurts so much. How I don't understand what's the problem with me. It's like if you just were to look at your leg, you would realize what's the problem. You would realize that it's actually quite easy to take care of. But if you're refusing to look at it because understandably it hurts and you're afraid to lose yourself in the hurt, there is no way you're gonna understand why you can't run the marathon if that's what you're wanting. You need to look at the wound. You need to, that's definitely the message. Is like your future self is definitely indicating that you're so much closer to your dreams than what you think. Is just this one thing that needs readjustment right now. You need to allow yourself to look at the wound, because otherwise it will not make sense and you will not go forward. And you know that situation has been going on for a while. The energies I'm getting here are like just surrendering to the flow, being optimistic in life, allowing oneself to be in the heart. All energies which I'm feeling are currently heavily resisted, heavily antagonized on behalf of your mind. Understandably, yet again, but you understand that it's not going anywhere. By carrying a wound around and refusing to tend for it, for very understandable reasons, once again, you're making it impossible for yourself to move anywhere. Yeah, it's like someone wanting to run a marathon, committing that their life purpose and their biggest dream is to run a marathon, and refusing to look at the fact that they hurt their leg. It's like, yeah, well, not gonna go very far. Because perhaps admitting to themselves that they hurt their leg may lead themselves into confronting themselves with the idea that perhaps they're not as invincible as they thought and they need to actually take care of their body. That's not something granted. that actually perhaps they will have to grow and develop into understanding that self-love is taking care of your body and that your vessel will in return help you achieve everything you want. There's fear yet again. But the whole message is here: stop giving your power away to what's going on outside of you, because this is useless, and I'm pretty sure that by now you've realized that, and go within. I wanted a last card from like the from our future self here. I wanted one last card, you know, like wrap the reading up. And we got another creator card. It's like in this deck you got 4 creator cards. Guess what? For the 4 elements. And there are like 70 cards in total. So you know, it's like they don't pop up very often. So it's quite surprising to me to have 2 creator cards. Especially like when you look at them, at the images, they're like opposed to one another. The triangle is either going down or up. That's a cold color. Here you go a much warmer color. No, it's actually a cold color as well, but never mind, screw that. But creator, the air is the mind. Is the element of the mind and our mind place, and I'm hearing that this will definitely help you a lot with your anxiety. Perhaps some of you may have been dealing with with chronic anxiety, people who identify as pretty anxious, people who identify as pretty stressed, pretty nervous, people who identify themselves as having mental health issues. I can guarantee you with just based on that, this thing alone, you tending for your wounds, you will realize that actually you're not as messed up as you thought you were. It's just that, yeah, when we're carrying wounds around, refusing to tend for them, that generally ends up degenerating into something much worse. But that is like, first message is you're just gonna realize how, like, you cannot even fathom about the extent of the benefits that you're going to be harvesting through healing whatever needs to be healed, through letting go whatever emotion needs to be let go of. And creator air is definitely making me feel, yeah, I just feel like your future self exists in such a calmer and more peaceful state, one where the minds feel in control. You may be someone who feels completely out of control when it comes to the mind, racing thoughts, anxiety, as I was picking up on before. And I feel like the level of peace that you're opening yourself up to is something that you perhaps haven't experienced in a very, very long time. And creator air, especially with the mind place, it's also like perhaps something coming in later, but it's definitely the foundations of someone opening up to their creator capabilities, especially since we got like the word twice. A creator, someone who creates their lives the way they want it. Well, it takes awareness. You only get to create that which you desire. You only get to control so much based on what you're aware of. You cannot control something you're not aware of. So the more aware you become, and that seems to be a big growth point for you, which will really catapult you in a much higher level of awareness about yourself and the world around you. That would definitely make you feel much more in control of your experience, I feel, overall. But yeah, like the main takeaway here genuinely feels like a level of peace of mind that you perhaps have no idea was possible. So that is a beautiful thing to be looking forward to. Whoa, okay. Lots of messages here. Well, thank you so much for having shared space with me today. It was a lovely reading, true honor to be reading your energy. I hope this message was helpful. It felt quite heavy on my side. I felt that, yeah, there was like a lot of stuff going on. So I really do hope that you're good during this time of transformation. It feels to be a little bit of a delicate moment for you. So yeah, I really do hope that this reading brought you a little bit of clarity. Yeah, helped you feel a little better perhaps, gave you some answers that you were waiting for, and I hope that, yeah, there are people around you supporting you through these times. And yeah, in the meanwhile, I send you so much love, and you're gonna get through this. So buckle up for what you're going through and get ready for everything which is gonna come after that. But yeah, I'm gonna be seeing you in my next video. Till then, I'm sending you all my love, all my support, and yeah, I'm gonna see you then. Bye. Hey, pal number 2, how are you doing? You're up. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're comfortable. I hope you're curious about the messages that we're gonna be receiving today. If you chose this card, pal number 2, or if you chose this crystal, the Smokey Quartz, that's gonna be your reading. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Okay, so today I pre-shuffled the cards. Was feeling lazy. So yeah, again, the intention of the reading was what messages are we meant to be receiving, pal number 2, when it comes to our future self, on behalf of our future self. So let's roll into it. These first cards are going to give us like the overall energy of what's going on. So that's going to be a good way to start. So we got the full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. We got don't let your past hold you back, South Node, which came out reverse. So we're going to see if that's relevant for later. We got the new moon in Virgo. Wow, okay. As well as Chorus enjoying today for tomorrow. That's very interesting energy. So let's try to make them all fit on camera first. Yeah, there we go. Lots of greens, eh? There's... wait. I'm sorry for the glare here. Yeah, perhaps we said better this way. There was a lot of glare on this card. Okay. What do we have here? Definitely a strong invitation to rest. I'm feeling. Yeah, a lot of self-care. And lots of green energies. Okay, there's a lot of information coming through. Better gonna get onto this. So yeah, it feels like you've been going through a bit of a period where I felt like empty in a way. Like colorless angel. It makes me feel like it was a period of your life where you felt a little empty. A little like something was missing in your life, and perhaps you were not completely aware of what it was. Just feels like feeling empty, feeling unsatisfied, unfulfilled, and not really being able to pinpoint exactly what it is and why this is going on. But at the same time, I also feel that you've been taking a lot of actions on that. Maybe internal, maybe external. I feel like this was very personal story, and that there are a lot of different scenarios going on here. But the fact that we had like the South Node in reverse, making me feel that the things have changed already. Like the energy has changed. Oh, okay. I'm having a bit of a background now. I genuinely feel that it could have been this last year, and if you're looking at this video further in the future, take it as like these last 6 months, these last 12 months, you've been doing a lot of inner reflection, a lot of inner work, like getting to know yourself, a lot of letting go of past things that no longer serve us, yada yada yada, the usual. But I generally feel that this is some form of practice and even if it didn't feel like a practice, definitely something like, I feel a period of your life, a chapter of your life where you felt very drawn to exploring yourself and making sense of what you felt the way you did. And I also feel that you've ended up feeling much, much better, much, much lighter as a result of it. And now you're in this bit of a period where it's like, okay, I feel much better. I feel that I don't feel like this colorless angel that much anymore. But at the same time, I'm like, well, my external life hasn't changed all that much, I feel. So, it's like we've done all the inner work, and now we're like, yeah, but when will the outer world catch up? That's how it feels. And your future self is definitely making me feel that the biggest piece of advice right now is taking care of yourself. Like, we got double Virgo energy, which is quite significant here. And the Virgo in this context is very much about like taking care of yourself, taking care of your place, nurturing yourself, making sure that you're eating those vitamins, those fibers, that you're getting your sun bath, that you're resting enough. It's very much like taking care of yourself, taking care of your body. Definitely what I'm feeling here. Because it really feels like you're going through a period of readjustment, as in it feels that you've leveled up within for quite a long time, and now the world is catching up with you. You've been investing a lot in your future, in investing in yourself, like taking the time. You may have been like withdrawing for the past months, really taking the time to explore yourself. And I have this feeling like your future self is so grateful for everything that you've done, because their life is so much more interesting and so much more funnier, so much more exciting. We got like the sacred giggles here, and it really feels like this energy on your behalf, as in, I've done all of this work. Well, what's up with that? Like, I've been investing so much, I'm waiting the return on investment now. As in, I've done all of this work, and now what? Was it for nothing? That's the kind of energy I'm getting from you, like this incomprehension of, I did all of this, I felt so much better, and yet, at the same time, it feels like nothing has changed. And what I'm hearing is like, that's not true at all. It's like, a lot has changed. The world is catching up with you. However, right now, you're invited not to worry too much about that, but you're very much more invited on shifting your perspective on taking care of yourself. Because I feel like perhaps this is something that you haven't necessarily been doing as much lately. You are much more focused on exercising yourself, like liberating all of these things. You've been really hard at work on yourself, and perhaps your life didn't look very active on the outside. Within, it's been a very busy. It's been, yeah, those last months were very busy within you, and it feels like you've come to, like, you've reached this place where it's like, okay, I feel quite satisfied with what I am where I am right now in this work. I don't feel drawn to doing so much more right now. Something that I'll obviously keep on doing all throughout my life, because that's part of our experience, discovering more of ourselves. But I don't feel inspired to be so focused onto it anymore. And at the same time, it coincides with the feeling of exhaustion, inner exhaustion. It's not physical. It's perhaps mental, it's perhaps emotional, it's definitely energetical. It feels like there has been so many shifts and so many changes happening and taking place within your system that right now is just like your body's just making you feel tired. I generally feel like most of you could be feeling tired, although your mind may be telling you, well, it's not okay for me to be wanting to rest because I haven't done anything with my day. Yeah, but if you really put into perspective everything you've done within for the last few months, then this exhaustion would make a little more sense, I feel. And right now, like, your future self is just saying, like, you've done everything you needed to do, and your future self is so freaking proud of you. And right now, it's just, the universe is just wanting you to focus on resting. It's like, rest assured, what you've done didn't go unnoticed at all. But you need to take care of yourself at some time. It's like, go get this massage, go to the spa, you know, it's like take care of yourself now. And I generally feel that there is this strong invitation to stop asking those questions about when will it come, when will it change, how will it change, because as we all know, anyways, it will not happen the way we're expecting it to. It will always be better. But right now, you're strongly invited to stop asking these questions and just focus on your resting, on your rejuvenation. Just focus on taking care of yourself, taking care of your loved ones. I genuinely feel that if you are honest with yourself, listening to what is it that you feel the most drawn to, which is what in the first place led you to embark on this self-discovery journey, that's because you were feeling drawn to that. If you're being honest with yourself, you would realize that what you're currently feeling drawn to is resting in all the different ways it may be happening. It may be literal sleep, like sleeping longer than usual. It could be just wanting to be in pajama all day long watching Netflix. It could be just, I don't know, taking the routine I'm hearing of having a gentle jog in the morning, a walk in the morning. It just feels like, please stop asking this question and start taking care of yourself. If you feel into what you're feeling drawn to, you would realize that right now you're wanting to focus on your rejuvenation. And this is definitely the main invitation I'm hearing from your future self. The message I'm getting is there's nothing for you to do right now. So take this time to rest. Imagine if you were to be told, like you are currently being told, that you got this, that's it, you've done everything you had, like you've done the application, you've sent out the invitation, it's done. Now what? Well, you're waiting for the answer. What do you do while you're waiting for the answer? What, you think about something else? Right now you feel a little exhausted. Well, take care of yourself, my dear. Yeah, it's like you're waiting for it feels like you're waiting for an answer. It's like, well, yes, you're waiting for an answer. Stop wanting to do a million things. You're just waiting for an answer. Take this time to rejuvenate. Again, I feel like I'm saying this, I'm going on this message like a broken record now, but it feels a very straightforward message. Stop asking these questions. Focus on your well-being and on taking care of you. That's all you need to hear right now, really. Perhaps something that could be relevant is if you feel gravitating towards things that make you laugh, that could be something. There could be something there. Perhaps part of rejuvenating yourself is laughing a little more. So keep that in mind. If it resonates, see how it would apply in your life. For these other cards, let's see if we got some more pieces of advice here. And we got the hummingbird, we got the ant, as well as the brown bear. Well, do you know what it says? Yeah. you know? Please rest. If you feel like you need it, that's all the permission slip you need. If you feel like you need it, please rest. That's all, period. Another thing, be here now, time to collaborate. Yeah, these two cards, especially like with the sacred giggles, there's definitely here an invitation to gravitate towards things that make you feel fun and towards people. So perhaps spending more time in family, spending more time with friends. That could be something that makes you feel recharged. Pay attention to the people you feel rejuvenated around, that you feel energized by. Please pay attention to who these people may be around you, and please spend more time with them. That's what I'm hearing. Take the time to spend time with the people who make you feel recharged and rejuvenated and rested. And just, yeah, enjoy your moment. It's like, yet again, please don't try to find what it is that you need to be doing. There is nothing that you need to be doing, which is very relevant at this moment, besides the daily things, when it comes to like your purpose, what you're meant to be doing, all of these big questions. What you're meant to be doing right now is chill the freak out and rest. So please just enjoy the moment. Things will move very quickly, I'm hearing. It's like the shifts will be noticed very quickly, but it will be much better. I mean, I'm getting the metaphor of, you know, when you put some water to boil, and let's say you want to cook some pasta, some rice, whatever. You're waiting for the water to boil. Well, I can guarantee you that if you stare at the water, the camera, if you stare at the water and waiting for it to boil, it's gonna feel like 3 hours. The wait's gonna be excruciatingly painful. Whereas if you just put a video on the side, like a Netflix show, if you got something else to do to focus on, it's the sound of the boiling water that will remind you that you had put water to boil in the first place. And you find yourself in a pretty ironic situation where you were waiting for it to boil, but now you wished it would have taken more time to boil because you were doing something else. Do you get this kind of feeling? That's exactly what we're talking here. Is like, please stop staring at the water for it to boil. It's not gonna boil faster. It is going to boil. This you already know. But it's like, please take your focus off of it and do something else instead. The waiting will not feel like waiting anymore. And one thing that you're definitely being invited to do right now, as already discussed, take time out for yourself. Be here, enjoy. What is it that makes you have fun? What are the things that make you laugh that you may not have been spending so much time in the presence of in these last months? What are these hobbies that you've let go of in these past months? What are the people and the things that make you laugh? You know, that's what you need to be focusing on right now. And you won't feel like having to wait 3 hours for the water to boil. There's the Sacred Feminine. That card is my wrap-up card. Like, what is one final thing that your future self may be wanting you to know? There's the Sacred Feminine. The feminine is not in the doing. This is an energy that I've been picking up on throughout the reading, as in, I've been doing so much, but I feel like the results aren't showing up immediately, and so I'm growing a little impatient, and as such, I'm starting to wonder and freaking out about, oh my god, what it is I need to do in order to make it happen. It is happening. There is nothing for you to do. That's the masculine speaking. I need to be doing something. That's the masculine. The feminine is just happy to be and happy to feel. And that's the invitation here. Nourish the Sacred Feminine. I want you to picture the image of you on a Sunday morning, just leisurely moving from your bed to the sofa to make yourself a breakfast and turn on Netflix. That's the energy that you're being invited in right now. Yet again, once more and for all, because yet again, this is something that is driving me insane for how many times I've said it already, but this message really needs to be ingrained, apparently. There is nothing that you can do at this moment that will make it happen faster. It will happen. It is a promise. What do you do with this time now? The Sacred Feminine is the invitation to feel, the invitation to enjoy, the invitation to be in the present moment, the invitation to be, the invitation to explore your creativity, to explore hobbies, to explore that which makes you happy. It is everything and all about the being and not the doing. It's all about the feeling and not the thinking. So have fun, basically. Then have fun. Well, that was a very interesting reading. Yet again, it feels like it's an invitation to please don't take it too seriously. You're taking it way too seriously and it's not serving you. So yeah, just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the time you got in front of you and make the most out of it. Have fun. Thank you so much for having shared space with me today. That was a lovely reading. True honor to be reading about your energy as always. Thank you so much. Lovely reading. one which is very calling forward to chilling out, and we love that. We love that truly. So yeah, that was awesome. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, chill. Sending you all my love. And yeah, take care. Bye. Hey, pal number 3. How are you doing? You're up. I hope you're sitting comfortably, lying comfortably. I hope you're curious about this message, excited about it. If you chose this card or the Fluorite, that's gonna be your reading. So let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. Okay, today pre-shuffled cards. I was feeling lazy, so there you go. So for as far as the question goes, what are the messages from your future self which are meant to be heard right now? These are going to be our first cards, which are going to be revealing us like the overall situation, the overall theme of what we are going to be discussing today. So let's see what we have. We got nothing is yet set in stone. That's already telling a bit of a story with the initial card. Communication is key. Forgetting oneself. Blinded to pain. Took an unexpected turn. Okay. Yep. Sorry for the glare. Like, these cards have a lot of glare, so like the light just reflects onto it. Just gonna put it up there so we can see it better. Or do we see it better on camera? Well, this is the card. Good. There you go. So, oh, that's interesting. There's a lot of confusion going on right now. There's ambush fear with your ferocious dreams. Nothing is yet set in stone. Forgetting what's blind pain. It feels like the cards are definitely indicating, especially the two last ones, they're indicating not so fun time. Quite easily, there may be a bit of pain involved, but at the same time, I cannot help it but feel like such an exciting energy coming from your future self. As in, okay, first thing first, your future self is definitely indicating that everything works out in the end. However, big catch, big caviar, it's working out much better than that which you're currently hoping for, in the sense that it's not what you're hoping for. It's something much better, but not something that you may be thinking about currently. That's why there's a bit this energy of I don't understand what the hell is going on right now. It feels like genuine incomprehension of your situation, trying to do our best, navigating our best, and having a lot of fear because the path ahead doesn't feel like it's the path that we want, but it appears as the only path to be taken. What's going on here? Forgetting oneself. This card keeps on calling out to my attention, reaching out there. Well, these two are definitely coming as a pair right now. It feels okay. I'm gonna go slow because the energy is coming in like droplets right now. It feels that you're currently, the way I currently feel your energy is like putting yourself in the passenger seat because you perhaps don't feel like you are capable of creating what you want. Okay, it's starting to make a little more sense now. It feels that because you're not sure, perhaps you don't believe in yourself to the degree that you think that you can create that which you want out of your life, you're kind of giving up the driver's seat, putting yourself in the passenger seat, and just let's see where the car's ending up. And it feels a bit of a terrifying experience, but at the same time, it also feels like kind of a I have to, because I don't feel like I can do it myself. So that's what I'm getting from these two cards, as in forgetting oneself, blind to pain. Whoop, the camera. I love doing that. It feels like someone who, definitely this camera, gotta be careful, a little more careful. It feels like someone who, yeah, is unaware of their power, who is unaware of how capable they are, who is unaware of how gorgeous and amazing they truly are, because they're carrying some pain that they haven't let go of still. And that's leading them into doubting themselves to the degree of giving up the driver's seat to God knows whom. Genuinely feels like currently there is no one in the driver's seat at all, actually. Just putting yourself in the passenger seat because you feel like you have to. But yeah, it's like, it feels like it's not going anywhere right now. It's very confusing. Also, like these two moon phases feel like they're completing each other. Like here we're nearly at the full moon, and here we're just got like the first croissant. So it feels like if you put them together, you got the full moon. As in, both are needed for completion in this sense. And it kind of feels this way, as in this fear that you're currently experiencing is definitely indicating you that you're carrying something that is no longer serving you. You're carrying something painful, and allowing yourself to explore the pain that you've been carrying around and resolving it will definitely help you realize that, well, definitely help you remember like how badass you are and how amazing you are. It feels like self-doubt. It feels like powerless. It feels powerless. It feels not confident, because we are keeping ourselves away from this quality of ours, which we do possess, but we're denying this. It's like the driver's seat is within our car, but we're just denying that the driver's seat exists. It's very much there. We're just not stepping in because we're denying it. I hope it makes sense. But it's kind of the energy. It's like everything is there. Like the confidence, the power, the assertiveness in our path, and the confidence I've already said, the feeling of knowing oneself. It's like everything is there, but we're just pushing it away, denying it all, because we're holding on to pain. We're holding on to something that we need to let go of. So that's the first invitation, as in, if it feels like a headache to understand what the heck is going on right now in your life, I just want, the first invitation is, please look at that, because the reason to why you don't understand why the car is not going forward is because you're not driving it. Sounds stupid when you look at it this way, but it's actually what's happening. Because right here, these three cards, they just feel like they're pulling your energy in three different directions. It's like on one end, it feels like dreams and fears are clashing against each other. Here, there's a lot of communication. I feel like you're in contact with many people who tell you, oh, you should try this, or you should do that, or perhaps you should do this, or perhaps your path may be about that. And it feels like every time that you ask another person, or the very same person, every time they're going to tell you something different. So it feels very confusing. And here, it just feels like a storm we're in. It's like we don't like looking at... I'm having this image, but I have no clue how it's called. You know, on top of some traditional houses, I don't think it's just a thing in my country though. It's like, I don't know if you picture it, but on top of some traditional houses in windy areas, there used to be set like some wind direction indicators, something that would indicate you in which direction the wind is blowing. And it would often be like an arrow with a rooster on top. I don't know if that's specific to my country, but if that's the case, I'm just gonna try to explain it the most. But it's the idea of like a wind indicator. That's kind of the gist of it. As in, you just got on your roof, you got a stick with an arrow and whatever you want of a picture on top of it. It's just going to like yeah, put itself in the direction of the wind. This is something which is also used like on the highways to indicate, like, to show in windy areas on highways for the passing cars to be aware of how much wind is currently blowing or lack thereof. But the picture I had, the long story short, the picture I had is like, I was just seeing in my head this like wind indicator, this little arrow with the picture of a rooster for some reason on top of it, just spinning in circles, and we're like, what the heck is going on? Where is the wind blowing? And that's what, like, a wind indicator swirling and just going in all directions, generally indicating that you're in the middle of a storm, and so the winds are blowing in every single direction. It's a bit of a chaotic image, but that's definitely the kind of energy. It feels chaotic, it feels directionless, it feels like there is so much messaging left and right, which does not make sense at the end of the day, because you're hearing everything and it's contrary. I'm hearing, and your fears and your dreams are coming clashing into each other, and I feel below all of that just a strong sense of anger. It's like, I'm so done with the situation, it makes no sense. Just someone just screaming because there's just too much going on. It feels overwhelming, honestly. And I'm hearing that the situation is just showing you how much of a mess it can become when you let other people tell you how to drive your car over driving it yourself. The only reason to why it feels such a chaotic moment right now is because you haven't stepped in the driver's seat, basically. Because once you step in a driver's seat and you take a decision, as messed up as this decision may end up being, who knows, if it is messed up, you'll just offer yourself a learning experience. But the point is, when you step up and you decide, okay, that's what I'm gonna do, even if later down the road you realize that this isn't really what was preferred, it will still bring you so much knowledge and understanding about yourself. So it's never even if it feels like a mistake, in the end, what I'm getting at is it's never wasted. You cannot mess it up anyway, because you'll always come back to yourself. But the point is, for as long as you don't step in this driver's seat, things will feel completely scattered and chaotic. Whereas when you step in and you take a decision, it's like, this is what I'm gonna do. The direction is set. The little arrow with the rooster on top of it is saying the wind is blowing in this direction. And so the wind blows in this direction. And the wind, which is not disagreeing, quote unquote, with that and blowing in other direction, the rooster says, you know what, I'm not gonna change my direction for you. It feels a little bit of a weird metaphor, but it feels like if you are the wind indicator, this little arrow on a stick at the top of a roof indicating in which direction the wind is blowing, right now you're spinning in circle because you're in the middle of a storm and the wind is coming from all directions. You do not know where to point at, you do not know where to give your attention, your focus to. It feels a complete mess. Whereas when you decide, I'm going to be pointing in this direction, the arrow stops and that organizes everything. The arrow is saying the wind blows in this direction, and so the wind shall blow in this direction. But the thing is, in this metaphor, it's like the wind blows in the direction you want it to, because that's how the universe works at the end of the day, by the way. Energy flows where you focus. If you are giving your attention to everything which is happening around you, you're just going to start spinning in circles. That's a storm. If you decide this is what I'm going to do, you're organizing everything. Everything gets organized. But this decision comes from you understanding that you are in the driver's seat, you deserve to be there, you have the power to be there, everything will be all right. And that comes through you taking care of this thing you've been refusing to look to. I hope it makes sense. The energy I'm picking up is quite chaotic. I hope my message didn't come through as chaotic as the energy I was translating, because if that's so, I'm afraid you wouldn't be understanding it, but I really do hope that it was helpful. I cannot help it but to feel like a very positive, optimistic, and beautiful energy, because it generally feels like you're one decision away from organizing everything in your life and everything just getting out of this storm. It's like finally the clouds are parting away from the sun and we get to see the sunlight, the beautiful sunlight again. It feels like you're so close to it, and your future self is definitely indicating me that it is, I mean, everything is going so well in the future. You know, it's like everything's good. You're just one decision away from it. One decision away from commanding in which direction the wind will blow. Some other cards as to advices and more things, diverse messages, we'll see. Coyote, oh, I love this card. Oh, I love this card as well. We're gonna see what this one says just after. Trust in divine details. Trust the fact that sometimes we need the storms to make us agree with ourselves. The reason to why you find yourself in such an uncomfortable situation isn't to mess you up, as always. It's always happening in your best interest. How would this pointing arrow discover that it decides in which direction the wind blows if it weren't caught in a storm before? You know, it's like, it is through the situations that we learn the most about ourselves. We don't grow and expand and learn through success as much, you know? When everything's going well, we're happy, but we're not expanding as much. Definitely, it is through the challenges, through the interesting times that we grow the most. And that's definitely the message of this card. Trust in divine details. It's like your future ahead is so bright and so interesting, yet so different from the way that your life currently looks. Why? Because all of the qualities and the way your life looks in the future reflects the qualities that you're currently stepping into. But because you don't identify with them just yet, you have no way to guess how your life will look, because you don't even know how you will look and how you will be tomorrow. As you step into these things, everything will become clear. But the version of yourself and the life you're stepping into is definitely one that reflects that which you're currently going, let me try that again. It's one that reflects all the qualities that you are currently stepping into through this storm. Take a leap of faith. Here it feels, what I was picking up before is like, just pick a direction, honestly. Even if it's a completely messed up one, even if there is nothing to back it up, it's like, what is your heart telling you? Oh, you want to do that? Go there. You know, it's like, it generally feels stupid, but your future self is generally saying that it does not matter at this point. Right now, the only thing that matters is you pointing at a direction and taking care of yourself so as to lovingly bring you to the awareness that this is not only something that you can do, but something that you actually enjoy, something that you deserve, something that is yours. The ability to point in a direction. And what I'm hearing is, it matters not which direction you point at right now. It really does not matter. That's not where the lesson and the growth is happening. So take a leap of faith, as in, point at whatever you want, really. Things will unfold later. But yeah. Spirit, what's your word? What can we say about that? I'm gonna take out a deck for some clarifiers on this card. Oh, perhaps, wait. Okay. No need for a clarifier. Leo, piece of advice when it comes to exploring that which you've been carrying with yourself. The whole point right now seems to be like lifting the veil. You see how the woman is currently carrying a veil? Like lifting the veil over your eyes and realizing all the power that you do have. Something that would greatly benefit you in order to discover what it is that needs to be released. Because some of you may be like, okay, I get what you mean, but then how do I do that? How do I find the burden that I'm carrying? What's your words? I feel like since this card is coming up, this is something that you're actually quite good at. When these negative limiting beliefs, negative self-talk pop up, when these fears arise, what are the words that you hear in your mind? What are the words that you would catch yourself saying out loud to yourself or to the world or into the world? Please start observing this inner dialogue. Because just you observing this inner dialogue and listening to which words are chosen will actually reveal you a lot on what it is that needs to be released. If you start listening and observing yourself, you will realize what is the limiting beliefs you are walking with. You will end up realizing what's the emotion behind it. You will understand what needs to be released. Your lead, so to speak, would be to start observing yourself, observing your inner dialogues, observing the words that you would catch yourself saying when being in a quote-unquote negative mood. Observe, and you will see what it is that needs to be taken care of. I feel that this is something that will appear quite easily, but if you have no clue currently, observation of the words being used or thoughts would definitely be a more than great start for that. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful thing. Last card to wrap it up. Let's see what it is. What does your soul say? I love that. It goes back to the idea of it really matters not what you're pointing out right now. The beautiful lesson that you're currently, the growth and the important thing is definitely in you remembering who the frick you are and how badass and beautiful and perfect you are. The rest is all about just like, what do you want to do? Even if it feels remote, just even a little inspiring, you know? Because I really feel like it matters not. So what does your soul say? Is like, oh, you want to do that? Then try it. That's it. It's as stupid as this. This is not where the important stuff resides at this moment. And perhaps, since it popped up twice, I feel like in the reading, this idea of needing to reassure oneself that even if we take the wrong turn, that perhaps it's still acting on our best interest. If it is something that you're generally concerned with, yeah, but what if I point at the wrong direction? You will not be pointing in the wrong direction. And I feel like sharing a little bit of thing. You know, when I draw these cards, the message is always perfectly what needs to be said. The words that I channel are always the words that need to be expressed. So that the viewer, the person, you basically, always understands it the way that you need to understand it for your highest service. The same message will be understood in a completely different way by your neighbor. The person right next to you will receive a quite substantially different message from this very same reading, because I'm only doing half of the work basically. I'm channeling the message, I'm expressing the words that need to come through, but then you understand it the way you need to be understood. All of these things are not things that I think about when I'm doing it. The cards which are popping up, I drew the cards before starting the reading. How the heck did I know that these cards need to come up? Oh yeah, these cards reflect the message perfectly. The words just seems to flow out of the cards themselves. If you start thinking about it, it's like, how the heck did I end up choosing the right cards for the message? You will go nuts. Why? Because this is not something you can understand. This is not your mind's job to figure these things out. These things go well beyond our mind. How the heck was I supposed to draw these cards if I had to just look at the deck and start choosing it? Okay, I like this card, so I'm going to be choosing it for pile number 3. How the heck would I get there? It's not possible. This is something that goes well beyond our physical minds. Our physical minds are not capable of that. That's why there's a lot of surrendering that we learn in our lifetimes and blah blah blah, all of these things. It's just about trusting the process, just trusting yourself. This is how it's meant to be. And I know personally as a reader, the more I think about it, the worse the reading becomes. because it does not make sense through the mind. That doesn't make sense. I do the reading. I have no clue of how you will understanding and how it will actually serve you, because everybody got a different story. Everybody's future self is different. Somehow it always makes sense because you're understanding the way you're supposed to. Oh, but what direction am I supposed to point at? That's not the right... Keep your mind out of that. The direction you choose is the one you're supposed to point at. Take it the other way around. Oh, but how do I know that if I point at this direction, it's the right one? If you are pointing at this direction, it's because it's the right one. Does it make sense? I'm feeling a lot of relief. This little side message really needed to come through. A lot of relief. Whew, that feels good. But yeah, what does your soul say? It's like, stop thinking about it. Understand that this is your power and that there is much that escapes the mind. That which you point at is the solution, is the right answer. Period. If you ask your mind, you will figure out the right answer in approximately 363 lifetimes. Better not gonna wait for that, right? So yeah. Thank you so much for having shared space with me today. That was a lovely reading. What an honor, true honor to be reading your energy. That was so interesting, to be honest. So yeah, that was a blast. Please let me know down in the comments how it went for you. What is coming up to you? I'd love to know about it. There's so much information that came through in this reading. And yeah, yet again, so much excitement and so much relief coming through this reading. So I'm so excited for the version of you and the life that you're stepping into. Also, I get to say that it feels imminent. It really feels like it's just the time for you to get a little more clarity within yourself and like confront yourself in the mirror. But just that's the only thing really, because after that is that, you know what, I'm gonna do that. Boom, you're going places really. So I'm really so excited for you. So yeah, let me know how it went in the readings. I love to discuss about that. And yeah, well, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you all my best. I wish you to fall in love with yourself, really, because you seem to be an awesome person. And yeah, take care. I'm going to be seeing you in my next reading. Bye.